Good afternoon. My name is Jonathan McIntyre, and I will be presenting my financial statement for Anheuser-Busch. A brief history of Anheuser-Busch. One more time. We're going to pick it up from there.
No, it's recording.
A brief history of Anheuser-Busch. The Budweiser saga began in 1876 when E. Anheuser Brewing Association of St. Louis, Missouri introduced Budweiser Lager, founded in 1860 by Eberhard Anheuser. The company was renamed Anheuser-Busch Brewing Association in 1879, recognizing the contributions and leadership of then the president Adolphus Busch. Budweiser's product line. Bud was a hit. The decades flew by the American grizzled Budweiser by the barrelful. 3 billion barrels per year by 1941, in fact. Americans counted it down, but the massive quantities and Budweiser became an American icon. Another executive summary is that Anheuser-Busch is the leading global brewer of one of the most top leading 5 consumer product companies. A brief analysis overview. This will be the overview. A brief analysis overview. This will be an overview of the cost of sales, revenue, products, the gross profit, distribution expenses, sales and marketing expenses, executive expenses, other operating and income expenses, non-recurring financials, and continue on. The current ratio. The current ratio is one of the measures to measure the company's ability to pay its short-term obligation. And in this current ratio, we will be looking at in U.S. dollars of 2010 and 2011. And here our current ratio will be the current assets divided by the current liabilities, which will give us our current ratio. And as we have here, we have our current assets at 103 for 2011, 110 for 641 for 2010. The current liabilities for 2011 was 8, well, this will also be in the millions of dollars, so this will be 8 million. And in 2014, it was 14 million. So the current ratio for 2011 is 12.8, and the current ratio for 2010 is 45.7. And as we continue on, we will move over to the asset test ratio. The asset test ratio, also called the quick ratio, is defined as the quick asset, cash, short-term investments, current receivables, dividends by current liabilities. And here we have the asset test ratios, which will be cash and cash equivalents, short-term investments, and current receivables divided by the current liabilities. And then for 2010, we have 36,047,000 plus 120 million divided by 14 million, which gives us our asset test ratio of 8.5. Moving on, we have the accounts receivable turnover. Now, the accounts receivable turnover is a measure of both the quality and liquidity of the accounts receivable. This indicates how often an average receivable are often in control by determining the period. And then here we have the accounts receivable. Here we have for the accounts receivable turnover, which will be the net sales divided by the average accounts receivable net. In 2001, we had 7,959,000 divided by 36,297,000. That should give us an accounts receivable turnover of 4.5. In my own opinion, I would personally recommend that investors look into buying stock options because Budweiser is a brand that is featured everywhere and that is known in households worldwide. Budweiser also has a growing fan base and also growing supporters behind its label and its brand. In conclusion, the brand is tried and true, and is a major sponsor of many worldwide organizations such as the NFL, a lot of water sports, NASCAR, and is featured as mostly as any sporting event that you can find around the world. This concludes my presentation, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you, and have a great afternoon.